Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Kihika'S Command TV. Susan Kihika, the Nakuru governor, was born in 1974. Going by that, she is now 51 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, she has been missing in action, and many people have raised many questions about her delivery of twins in America. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at this, the fact that she is the governor means that she's a public figure, and it means that Kenyans have the right to know the truth about this lady. And the governor is very, very controversial, if you ask me, because when you look at it, Kenyans would maybe have wanted to see her give birth in a Kenyan hospital, especially in Nakuru, because actually health is a devolved function, and she is actually one of the managers of the health system of the Republic of Kenya. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at the reason why Kenyans are raising hard questions and why answers are needed very, very fast. Number one is about Susan Kihika's age. She is 51, and she is said to have delivered twins. The last time she was seen in public, I think it's now more than 4 months ago, because I think she was last seen in November. We are headed, I think, to 5 months. And Kenyans are asking this question. At 51, I don't know, but maybe we need to be advised here about giving birth at 51. I'm not saying that is not possible, but it raises hard questions. Number two is about where she went to give birth. Why did she go to America? These are the questions that the voters are asking. These are the questions that the Nakuru residents are asking. These are the questions that anybody would ask. Number three, why Kenyans are asking hard questions is because of the prolonged absence. I've said she was last seen in public in November. The other reason why Kenyans are asking hard questions is because when she was in office, there were no signs of physical pregnancy. I don't know, maybe our viewers read this, you can advise us. If somebody is expectant and give birth to twins, would there be a sign that would show that this person is pregnant? Wouldn't there be any sign? Anything? Even those people who worked with her very closely in the office, why is it that they are not coming out to say that for sure the governor was pregnant? And so it happened abruptly, and she went missing in action, and all of a sudden people started asking these questions. Again, why hasn't she come out after giving birth? We assume that she gave birth and she's on maternity leave, because I saw women leaders coming out to defend her. Yes, it is her right. And even the husband is entitled to paternity leave also. It is her right. But this leave is now prolonged. It has exceeded. And the reason why Kenyans are asking, and it is her right to be on leave, and we can only wish her well, is because there are some things that can only be done by the governor. And when you see people complaining, they are feeling that Nakuru County is being mismanaged. The person who is actually in charge is not the person who was elected. In fact, I understand it is not even the deputy governor. It is somebody else, which is raising hard questions. However, ladies and gentlemen, there has been allegations from various sources that the governor has been unwell. According to Wahome Dhuku posits that Susan Kihika was never pregnant. That is Wahome Dhuku. And you see, I normally take Wahome Dhuku seriously. Aoko Maverick had also said the same in January. But many people would actually doubt when it comes to Aoko. But now, when it comes to Wahome Thuku, I think he must have done a lot of research, considering he's a very informed gentleman and he's a lawyer. He knows the implications of saying this, that she was not pregnant after all. And the story about pregnancy was concocted by her relatives. And when people raise questions, they were told to keep quiet. And Wahome goes ahead and says that the governor is critically unwell and receiving intensive treatment at an American hospital. Some rumors say that she is in Johns Hopkins University Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, I can only wish the governor quick recovery. I can only say, Mungu mponye haraka, mpe nafuu governor wetu. But I would also like to raise some issues about our leaders. Why do they hide in their human beings? Why do they say that, I remember there was a time Moi disappeared for 1 week, I think 2 weeks. And when he came out, he was limping. He was limping, truth be told. I don't know what had happened to the late president. But he could not admit that he's sick. And that is why Kibaki was very different. When Mwai Kibaki fell ill, and he was the president, by the way, he went and was admitted at state-of-the-art Nairobi hospital. And everybody knew. And I remember Raila trying to go and see him in hospital. Na akajifanya ni daktari, because nobody would be allowed to see Kibaki. Just a very few people, especially relatives. So Raila was given dusty coats that's the white lab coat, by some doctors. And he was allowed to pass as a doctor, and then he went and saw Kibaki. Raila is a very funny guy, because I also remember there was a time he escaped to Uganda akiwa amevaa kanzu kama mwanamke. That is Raila Odinga for you. So, and by the way, if you have never known, that was one of the reasons why LDP and NAC of Mwai Kibaki could not actually agree, because LDP thought that Kibaki was dying, so there was a lot of power struggle, and maybe the guys in LDP wanted to take over power, but it never happened. But here, ladies and gentlemen, about our leaders not actually trying to improve our hospitals, equip our hospitals, and it is very, very bad. Very, very bad. And it is very ridiculous that the people who are bestowed with the responsibility of actually making hospitals work, paying doctors well, are the same people who, when they become sick, they go and seek medical help from other countries. It is wrong, in my view. It should not happen. And they should be allowed to go to hospital in Kenya. Even politicians should be allowed. Everybody who works for the government should be allowed to seek medical help in Kenya, including the president. And it is not only Susan Kihika. I know there are many others. I remember another leader who came out, and rumors said that he was sick, and when he came out, he came with the glasses and miwani ya jua, na hakukuwa na jua, and one was left asking many questions. So ladies and gentlemen, let us wish Susan Kihika quick recovery, if that is the case. But one thing I know is that truth will always triumph. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.